What's up, Beastie? Let's catch up on our week. Cheers. What's up, Beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another weekly wrap-up. I'm deciding between some names, so next week, when we're officially into 2025, I will unveil the new name I decide on for this weekly wrap-up. But anyway, this is where we just kind of hang out. The camera's in a little closer. I gave you a snack. Get yourself a drink and a snack if you don't want the delicious Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips and Diet Mountain Dew. Grab yourself a beverage and a snack, and we just hang out, chat about the week that was, talk about what I read, what I did, what I watched, what I played, and all of that stuff. And updates with the channel, my writing, the usual. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so what I read this week, I finished The Idyllic Stone by my good friend Alex Shorman. And this was a lot of fun. I really like this book a lot. I'm excited to see what Alex does next. Focuses on our main character, Aster, who lives kind of in a small village, buckwheat village. And him and his dad kind of run the post office there. He always has dreamed of being more of an adventurer, seeing the world, traveling. And he kind of gets his chance because this small village falls under a sickness, and a lot of people are starting to get ill and sick and have a lot of issues, and his father is the one that does, so he has to take up extra slack and do a lot of the post office work. And then he's starting to get worried because his dad's deteriorating along with a couple other people, and he hears that there is a doctor in the big city a ways away that maybe could be able to help. So he wants to go there and see what he can do. And he's also given a letter to give to someone in the big city from the guy that kind of runs the mines and does a lot of stuff in the town. So then he ends up hopping in with this crew, not pirates so much because they're good folk, but and he goes on his adventure and he takes off. His dad's not happy about it because he wants him to stay safe and stay home, but he goes out on his adventure and he's with this pirate crew. They become a big part of the story too, and they go to the city so he can go on his adventure and see if he can get this doctor to come back. And along the way, of course, a lot of adventures, a lot of things he gets pulled into, and then eventually when they return home, there's a lot of things he gets pulled into. There's a lot of twists and turns and some mysteries that must be solved. But it was a lot of fun. It's a fun ride. It has a nice classic feel to it, very cozy in the village, and then like the adventure part, kind of the quest with the party, the company. There's a few of those instances in there. But then it also can be pretty scary sometimes. Like this thing right here, the cockatrice, is terrifying. It can turn you to stone if it looks at you, and it can eat you alive. It's scary stuff. And there's some other monsters in it too. So it's just a cool mix of a lot of different tropes and things that I really just found myself getting sucked into, and really enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I highly recommend this if you haven't checked it out yet. Alex, I'm glad that I read this, my friend. Definitely have to have you on Beast Friends Forever soon so we can chat about it and just chat in general. But I really love this. Excited to see what he does next. So highly recommended. All right, and then I've been working on Demon in White. Again, I need to put my bookmark in here so I know where I'm at. Forgot to, because I've been reading it. I've been reading it on my Kindle Oasis, but I'm probably, I don't know, not much further last week. Maybe 300 pages in. Just taking my time with it. Because with it being Christmas week, I got sidetracked with some things. And I got sidetracked with some other reading things I'll talk about as I go through the stack. But this is really good. And I really think when I get to a point where I can just kind of like push some of the stuff aside, which I'll talk about in a minute, and just focus on this, I think I could blow through the rest of it. But I'm enjoying taking it in. I got it on ebook and audio, so I'm kind of doing both when I have time. And yeah, it's really good. I really just want to focus on it and finish it. But there are a couple things that I wanted to really get through. I wanted to finish Idyllic Stone, and then I'll talk about a couple things in here too. But very good, very good. Sun Eater's awesome. Always awesome. I'm loving Demon in White. So one of the things that I was focusing on is I started reading Space Pew Pew by David Badarina, because we're doing a co-stream, me on his channel, him on mine at the same time. He knows how that works. I don't, but it's going to be cool. And that's going to be on the 11th, which is next Saturday. So I want to read this week. It's fun. It's hilarious. I read the first couple chapters, and it's already cracking me up. It's very like Firefly, Star Wars, space opera-ish, but with a lot of humor. And I'm just digging it so far. Loving it. So this is really good. So I'm reading this. And then also I got The Ark for Black Mantolin from Andrew Watson. Read the first couple chapters and I love it. So it's kind of something that I'm focusing on too. But I'm loving it so far. It's so good. And this is my first ever like arc where it says arc on it that I've gotten from an author. So it's pretty exciting. And I definitely want to read this and have it done before the book comes out so I can get a review out and give my thoughts and all that stuff. But I'm excited to have that, enjoying that. Something this week that I read, I didn't read any short stories or any of my Winter of Advent stories, so kind of dropped the ball. I'm still going to read those all during the winter months, but I definitely didn't read them as I had hoped one a day before Advent, but that's how it goes. But I did read Death of a Christmas Tree Salesman. This was so much fun. You follow the character who is Sam Shovel, who is a snowman, detective, a PI, but he's only alive for the Christmas season for like, I don't know, does it say in here? I forget, 20... Anyway, he only comes alive around Christmas time. He's only alive so many days, and he doesn't remember things, but he keeps notes under his hat to remember kind of his last life. He'll write things down so that he remembers. And in this time, the Christmas tree salesman has been murdered, and it's a mystery, and he's trying to solve it. So he's going around the North Pole, this little cozy Christmas town, trying to figure things out, and it's just really fun. I had a great time with this, blew through it. So this was something I read the first week of Christmas break that kind of slowed me down on these bigger things, but I'm so glad I did. It was a great read. Patricia Meredith, I'm definitely going to read more of her stuff. This was a lot of fun. And then, of course, I've been reading Way of a Dan. I'm not about that far in, and I'm loving it. This is so good. Cannot wait to have Philip on the channel. We'll figure that out probably in January sometime, hopefully. But I'm loving this. It's so good. Definitely has like that epic classic fantasy feel with a modern voice. But it also gets dark at times, which I love. I really love that. I mean, the prologue in the first chapter, pretty much, the prologue, you're kind of with these priests, these characters, and you think like, oh man, these guys are kind of cool. I wonder if I'll be following them. Nope. And then the very first chapter, you're following this boy, this farm boy, and you think, oh, is he going to go on an adventure? Is this going to be our main character? Nope. And yeah, it's just really fun. I'm digging the character work, that the ones that you are following, and the world, the politics, but I'm really digging the dark stuff, the dark path that Philip takes sometimes in this. It's a good mix, and I'm loving it very, very much. So excited to keep going. I'll probably finish that in the next week because it's awesome. And then graphic novel-wise, I read the next volume of Something Is Killing the Children. Just love that series. It's so good. Awesome stuff. Really loving that. And then I've been working through more of Berserk, and that's really awesome. I'm trying to think of the smaller volumes. I think I'm up through 17 or 18 now. I'm not sure, but it's really good, really dark, twisted, but I love it. So that's good. I'm going to keep reading that this week, of course. And then I didn't get to this. I kind of treated that Death of a Christmas Tree Salesman as my novella short story collection this week, but I do want to read this by Bill Adams this week because I've been really looking forward to it. So I'm going to read that this week. Graphic novel wise, this is book one, or compendium one? No, book one of Saga. I love this. I've read book one and book two, and I just found a good deal for books 2 and 3 on Pango, so I'm going to read book 3 when it comes in, hopefully this week. But I'm going to be doing that, and then I'm going to keep working on all these the books that I'm reading: Space Pew Pew, Way of Adan, Demon in White. So that's kind of what I'm going to be reading this week, which takes me to, reading wise, some things that I'm going to change in the channel going forward. Hold on a second. I am going to take a break from doing TBRs, and let me tell you why. Because you might have seen some videos out from other YouTubers about how BookTube can have some unhealthy habits and how it can kind of ruin your reading and put pressure on you. And I've never, like, in my own, like, before I started BookTube, I didn't really, like, plan TBRs or anything. I've always been more of a mood reader, or I get hooked on a series. And that's just kind of what makes me happy. So I do want to get back to doing TBR eventually, because I love making the TBR videos and getting people hyped up. But then it puts the pressure on me, like, oh, I got to finish that this week because I said I was going to read this. And, like, I'm trying to figure out my new normal. And I say that in a lot of videos, and it's because I haven't yet. Before, my free time, I would read. But now I started this channel, so my free time is divided up between this, reading, and then also I've been starting to try to write again. So then I try to make time for writing. And of course, I'm a dad. I've got 4 kids. I have a full-time job. And my wife works 12-hour shifts as a nurse. So days where she works, or if she does back-to-back, sometimes it's like I'm like a single dad for those days. And she just finished up her master's. So for the last couple of years, she has been gone pretty much all the time or doing homework. So all that to say, when I started BookTube, it was summer. I didn't have school, I didn't have work, I was off with my kids, and it was just chill, and I was able to kind of still read the same amount. But since fall came and I went back to work for the new school year, and trying to figure out a good balance, it hasn't worked good. So I used to be able to read always 4 or 5 books a month, and instead of getting a book done in a week, now it's taking me a couple weeks, or sometimes 3 weeks if it's a big book. So long story short, I'm going to do it with TBRs for a while, and that's okay. I do want to get them back eventually because I think it's fun, but I just want to make sure I give myself some time to discover the new reading plan that I need to come up with to see how much I actually can consistently read per month, and not, because it's kind of like when I go and I'm starving and I go to get some food somewhere and my eyes are bigger than my stomach and I'm like, ooh, I want this and this and this, and then I don't eat it all. Well, that's what happens with the TBR right now. Ooh, I can usually read 4 or 5 books a month and 4 or 5 novellas. I'll do this and this and this, and then I don't read all of it. So that's kind of where I'm at. Hopefully that doesn't upset anyone too much. I know we all love the TBRs, but I think still doing wrap-ups, starting to do book reviews in 2025, it'll give me some time, and then eventually the TBR will return because I think it's a lot of fun. But just wanted to let you all know about that change. What did I watch this week? Well, I watched Creature Commandos from DC by James Gunn, and that was a blast. I enjoyed it. It's very twisted, dark, a lot of gore, bloody, but a lot of fun. The character works great. The voice actors are all awesome, and it's because he wants the voice actors to be the same as the characters playing them in live action, so that's why you've got some heavy hitters in there, which is pretty cool. And then I just really enjoyed it. It's pretty great. It basically picks up from James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, which I think was excellent, and Peacemaker. And you've got Colonel Flagg, who is Rick Flagg's dad. He was the one in the Suicide Squad movie. His dad, Amanda Waller, is having him be in charge of these creature commandos, these non-human villains that they're going to use because she got in trouble for using human villains in the Suicide Squad to send on suicide missions. So the government said you can't use humans anymore. So she's working around that and using non-human villains. But it's a lot of fun. You know, they all seem so bad at first, but then slowly you get their backstories, which has been pretty cool. And you kind of see that they're not as bad as they're made out to be. And there's a reason why they kind of went off the deep end and did things. And some of them got set up. So it's pretty interesting, pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. It makes me even more excited to see what he's going to do with Superman and all the live action stuff. But enjoying that. There's 2 more episodes. Check it out if you haven't yet. And let me know if you have, what you thought. And then for the rest of the break, I do really want to watch a lot of things. I want to catch up on some Star Wars stuff. I want to watch the new Dune thing. I would love to catch up on Wheel of Time and Rings of Power Season 2. Some of these things people don't like, but I still have to watch it for myself to see. And I really want to watch Arcane. I'd love to watch some more stuff too, but we'll see. It's flying by so fast. I only have 1 more week. The first week went by so quick, and now it's already over. But this week, not as much family plans and gatherings and events like Christmas week. So hopefully I have a little more time, but it's been great so far. Not complaining, and looking forward to another week before life gets super busy again. So that's what I watched on the channel. I did Sunday last week. I did book mail, Triple E's book mail. Then I did the weekly wrap up. Then I did a Christmas haul, showed off everything I got for Christmas. That was a really fun video to make. Then I put all my Advent shorts together to make a video of me doing first day of Christmas all the way through, and that was fun. Check it out if you haven't yet. And then I had a live with TJ Tim McKay, who is a fantastic author of The Fall of Sylvandria. He had a new cover come out. Here's a picture of it. It looks amazing. And Tim is such a great guy. Authentic, genuine, super kind, nicest guy you'll ever meet. Supports everybody. So I'm excited for him. Go check out the book. Buy it. I did. It looks beautiful, and I cannot wait to read it. I'm going to read it in 2025. At some point, but I'm excited to, and he deserves all the support. So congrats, Tim. You're awesome, man. I had a blast with you. Can't wait to talk again. And then yesterday I did Triple E's book mail again and got some really awesome things. So check out all that stuff if you haven't yet. I had a lot of shorts out, and short-wise, I'm going to continue to do question of the day polls, but I might not do a question of the day short for every poll, just ones that I feel like doing here and there, just because the algorithm has changed and it doesn't really like me in general. It's never had any of my videos go big, but shorts I used to get a decent amount on every short, but now I don't. The question of the day ones generally don't get very many views. Sometimes they get like 20, if that. So I don't know if I'll keep doing them. I'll do them, but I won't do one every day. I'll do a question of the day every day in the community poll area, but I don't know if I'll make a short about everyone. Unless there's people that love them, let me know. Then I'll keep doing them. But I'll think of some more creative shorts to do more often. But yeah, so it was a good week on the channel. Next week on the channel, I'm going to start seeing all my end of the year stuff, which will be awesome. We'll have all my tops this and that of 2024, so look forward to that. And the first annual Beasties Award show, I've got a bow tie and everything, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Look for that later this week, working on that. So yeah, it's going to be a fun week. The only live I have this week is Thursday night at 6 p.m. with my good friend Jake from Nerd Level Rising. His channel's taken off. He's such an awesome guy. And he had me on his channel a while back, so I'm returning the favor because I would love to talk to him. Anytime I get to chat with one of my good buddies from the Red Company, I'm always down for it. So it's exciting. I'm excited to have Jake on and hang out on Thursday night. Otherwise that's it. So yeah, it's been a good week. I'm excited. Writing wise, not much to update you with. It's been a busy week. So just starting next week and going forward, I'll have a little graphic that'll show words, how far I am in certain projects and stuff. So, and I do have another project I'm working on the side too. The one I talked about already will be the main one. The first one you'll see when it's ready, but there is something else I want to get out by Halloween next year, if that gives you a hint at what it's about, that I'm very excited about. So a couple things in the works, but we will talk about that when there's more to talk about. And finally, one last thing I did want to talk about was I put out a short during Christmas time about saying you are not alone, and I think that's a special message that I just want to reiterate here at the end of my weekly wrap up. And this basically was being sent out to people that are feeling lonely, but I want everyone to hear the message, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But the message was mostly to people that are feeling alone. It could be for a lot of reasons. You know, this time of year is usually a lot of fun for all of us. We're hyped, we're pumped, we're spending time with family and friends and loved ones, giving gifts, getting gifts. That's just a great time. But there are some people that this time of year is very hard for, and they feel very alone. And maybe it's because they've lost a loved one, a parent, a sibling, a child, a significant other, a spouse. Or maybe they're an empty nester and their kids have moved away and the house is quiet and it's Christmas isn't what it used to be, and that can make you feel alone. Maybe it's a kid that did move away. They're away from family and they feel alone. Or maybe there's just someone that's never had good people around them and they just don't have the people in their life that that they need to feel loved and to not feel alone. So for whatever the reason, I wanted to make a message that just said that you are not alone. There are people that care about you. There are people out there. It may not be the people that you want. Maybe it's not the loved one that you lost, or maybe it's not the significant other you've been praying for to come along and you feel alone. But there are people, friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, me. There's people that think you're awesome. Reach out to them and know that you're not alone. And there are people that value and that think you are amazing and think the world of you and that think you're pretty awesome. So that was the gist of the message, but also to everyone else that is in a good place and is enjoying the holidays. Think of people in your life. We all have friends that are in this spot, or loved ones. Think of people that might need you to reach out and just say hi, or stop by and visit them, or invite them to things. Because I think it's very important to remember everyone this time of year and know that it's okay to feel alone, but to know that you don't have to be alone, even if you feel alone. And for those of you who lost someone, lost a loved one, it's hard, I know. I lost my mom 12 years ago, and that first Christmas was so tough. She loved the holiday season, and going through that without her was just hard. But every year, it doesn't get easier. The pain's still there. It still hurts like crazy now, not having her. But it does get easier to separate the pain and be able to look back at the happy memories and focus on those and feel the love and that little piece of your heart that they'll always have, to focus on all of that so that you can look back on happy memories and smile instead of just focusing on all the sadness and pain. So it does get better, but it'll always hurt. But there is a time when you'll be able to separate that hurt from the joy and focus on the joy. So hang in there. But anyway, I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas. I hope everyone is having a great weekend, and I hope you have a great New Year's week. Look forward to all the end of the year, beginning of the year content the next couple weeks, and I will see you guys there. So until I see you in the next one, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see ya.